Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Monday to you all. Hopefully, your week is off to a great start. Or if you're watching this at any other point in the week, hopefully, you're having a great day nonetheless. I missed this release last week because school happened. The PhD got very busy at the end of last week, and I didn't get around to it in somewhat of a timely manner. But we are back. Miss SOOJIN is back with, I believe, is her first solo comeback ever since she made her debut with Agashi last year. Very exciting indeed. Comebacks are always very exciting, especially if it's your first couple. And I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I don't know if there's going to be connected storyline with Agashi, or if it's going to be like sonically similar or along the same lines of, but I remember being very impressed with that kind of elegant, mature sound that Agashi was, and I remember equating it to Yuju from formerly of G-Friend, who debuted solo with Play. It also had the kind of traditional elements, the more mature, elegant sound, much slower, very pretty type of sound. So I'm curious if we're gonna get something similar to that in Mona Lisa, if we're gonna get something maybe inspired by another region of the world, if we're going to get some kind of traditional instrumentation going on again, or if it's, kind of completely flipped the script. So let's find out together, shall we? Here we go! I am standing today because my chair gets tremendously warm, and it is once again tremendously warm today in the Japans. It's, at this point, it shouldn't surprise me. Like, I know what the weather is going to be like here. It's going to be humid. It's going to be hot. That's Japan for you in a nutshell during the summers. But, you know what? I'm not going to complain too much because I am ready to enjoy some music. So, let's get into it. Here we go! Mona Lisa, you read my eyes. Mona Lisa, oh, hold on a second. Looks like the verse is going to be taking advantage of the repeated, very short words. Doing that whole, taking advantage of that whole semantic satiation phenomenon. Talk about that later. Ooh, oh, it got very pretty there for a second. Hold on. Oh. Okay, so we're going a more dance direction then. This is definitely a song that is a lot more forward in your face than Agashi was. But it does have that, an air of that kind of more mature, elegant sound, kind of similar to the sensation I got from Agashi, so... This pre-chorus is very pretty. It's like the instrumental section just expands. I think her vocal part kind of gets bumped up a little bit up too. Really interesting that we get that call-in into the chorus both times too. Much like with Agashi, the instrumentation is really interesting. It's not very common, I feel like, the instrumentals that they've chosen, which I like. I like when artists do a little different greedy with it. Purely performative final chorus to start. Oh, just almost entirely performed a final chorus full stop. Oh. Hmm. Wait, hold on. I want to see the credits. I was gonna see if I recognized any of the the MV team or not. Hmm. It's definitely a different direction. It's I kind of like the fact that she has gone that different direction. As much the same way with Yuju, that first comeback after the debut is always going to be really intriguing for someone who especially followed the group that they were a part of previously. So like G-Friend were one of my favorite girl groups back in the day when they were active. In fact, G-Friend is one of the reasons why I got into K-pop in the first place. They were yeah, G-Friend were, I would say, one of the first girl groups or first K-pop groups to bring me back into the genre back in the 2016 and stuff. So I'm very familiar with what Yuju brought to the table in the G-Friend setup. So when she re-debuted solo, that was very enticing for me. And then that first comeback came around without you, and it was just like, oh, what is she gonna do this time? She completely flipped the script, and it was really pretty. Soojin's kind of doing a very similar thing where I've followed Idol, I'd say pretty closely. I wasn't like deep into their discography every single time, but I've known their title tracks since debut and a handful of B-sides and stuff. So I knew what Soojin brought to the table in the Idol setup as well. And then, of course, she made her solo debut, I guess, her re-debut, so to speak, with Agassi last year. And I thought that was really interesting, because it was almost like seeing a side of Soojin we've never seen before. And sonically, it was really intriguing to listen to. And now that we have that first comeback with Mona Lisa, it's that direction of where are we going to go? And with Mona Lisa, we're sticking into that kind of more refined, mature sound. But we flipped how it's being portrayed. If Agassi was that really kind of almost elegant aesthetic, Mona Lisa is the type of song that is meant to kind of almost attack you in a way. This is a song that is very much more in your face. It is up close and personal to you. And even the choreo kind of shows. The choreo is a lot more kind of in your face. Like it's doesn't have the smooth elements. It's harsh and aggressive. Yeah, it's, the two title tracks very much cohesive with each other, and I quite like that. Sometimes that's very hard to do, especially if you establish yourself the first time around with such a unique sound. But we got even little hints of that traditional sound, I guess, with the almost... There's a specific synth sound in the chorus that does it, but... Actually, let's talk about the semantic satiation session. Welcome to human psychology. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a psych major. I quite like the subject of psychology. I was never good at it in school, though. But semantic satiation happens sometimes in music. I feel like K-pop happens a few times a year. But it's the sensation, it's the phenomenon where a word or a series of consonants is repeated so often in quick succession that it loses the meaning of the word and becomes just purely sounds. So, for example, Ives Kitsch last year. The chorus, on 90s kitsch, 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 kitsch. The word kitsch gets repeated so often that it ends up sounding just like a kitsch, 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 kitsch. It almost sounds like a percussion part rather than actual human words. Soojin's Mona Lisa, essentially the entire first verse is taking advantage of that semantic satiation. And I feel like this is one of the rare times where the song purposely leans into that in the verse, which I find very interesting. But actually, we should... especially with the phrase that's using local as the base word. So local, it's just repeating that second syllable over and over. So you feel that first local as the word, but the rest is just sounds. And admittedly, ko isn't really a word in this case. It's meant to be just almost vocal percussion in a way. And it happens with, well, the word go too, right? Go is the word, very clearly. Moving to some place or to begin the movement towards a direction, to go somewhere. The first time that word is repeated in that quick succession is still the word go. But right around the third or the fourth time it gets repeated, it just turns into a sound, vocal percussion. And they've really just kind of, that is the theme of this first verse, which I find very interesting to me. It hasn't been done to this extent, or at least in the music that I've covered here in the last 18 months or so. I don't think we've come across a song that's taken advantage of that semantic satiation this much. But this pre-chorus, and I guess for that time, the first and final goes have the meaning, but from a section that has so many of those repeated one syllables just over and over and over in quick succession, we get really long with it. The melodic top line, really long and extended. Each word, each syllable is drawn out. The instrumental part is almost drawn out more. It's more rounded out instead of being nice and sharp. That contrast is huge for this song, and honestly, this pre-chorus is very pretty too. Call it in, and then we're back into the kind of vocal percussion section, right? That section in the background, in the instrumental, that sounds like a end-blown traditional flute that's been digitized and then put through a vocal filter. That's where the kind of tie-in into the traditional instrumentation comes into play, and I find that very interesting as well, because they've taken an instrument and they've mixed it in a way where it has the essence of that instrument, but has a way different application and way different execution to it, and because of it, it can be interwoven into this modern, more dance beat so seamlessly. I kind of like it. It's a very interesting song. I don't think quirky is the right word for it, but it's got that kind of similar vibe to it. And overall, I don't have complaints about it at all. The MV says it's 2 minutes 43, but it doesn't feel like a short song at all either, which honestly works in its favor, because I feel like you get a lot of music in this for the length of time the song actually is. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed indeed. I know this came with B-sides, and I don't know if we'll get around to them on camera or not, but I'll take a gander in my free time, and we'll see what the other songs on the album sound like. But as for today, I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today: let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, even picking up a piece of trash. Even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.